Hi guys, this is Lalana. Thanks for tuning into the Sovereign Path. So today we're going to talk about the mind game. The mind game, mind mastery on this path. So this ties into the video that I made like at the beginning of my channel. So this was probably 10 months ago or something like that. Guys, I have a ton of playlists, I know, and I had all my videos categorized in my playlists. And then when they were in the playlist, then all of my videos weren't showing up on my homepage. So I have to figure out what that is. So I am gonna put them back in the playlist thingy so they're easier for you to find. Anyway, I did a video on 3D game at the beginning of my channel several months ago. So this video is going to tie into that one if you guys want to see that, if you haven't already. So before I start this, I've had a lot of requests from you guys and in my coaching, with my coaching clients as well, who have asked if I could potentially create a community, you know, a monthly group for us to get together, a private community for us to, like, you know, sort of share the space, share a sacred space for you guys to get to know each other in a sacred space, communicate with each other. We could do like a Q&A. I could do some guided meditations and that sort of stuff, whatever, you know, you guys may be interested for me to bring through for you. So since I've had several requests, I thought I would just sort of put it out there, see if enough of you guys are interested in doing something like that. So if you are, will you leave me a comment and let me know? And let me know what you guys potentially would like to see, what you would like to hear from me, the sort of things that, you know, you would be interested, you know, in sharing or in me sharing and things like that. And yeah, we can see if potentially we can create something like that. So the mind game on this path is huge. This is a mind game on this path. Right? Fully blown. This is a mind game. So I want to touch on this because I think it's really important that we start to really understand that this is not about, I mentioned this in a couple of my videos, I don't know, last week maybe. This path, the awakening path in general, you're coming into the higher awareness of what you have always been. You're coming into higher consciousness. You're coming into the awareness that you are the light of being, that you are the light of consciousness, that you are the I am presence expressing itself in form, right? Anything that has been convincing you that you are not that is coming from the mind. Right? It's coming from the mind. And as I've said, you know, I mentioned this in my course as well, and I've mentioned this in other videos. You know, the mind is a powerful tool. The mind is a wonderful tool when used in the right direction, right? The mind is a wonderful tool. But when the ego mind is left to run riot and just talk and talk and talk and talk and talk like it always does, when the subconscious programming is left to just be basically running our life in autopilot with us not really having any real awareness of that, then and creating realities over and over again that potentially we don't want to experience, then we really have to like come to the awareness that we need to get a handle on what's going on with our mind, not a handle on what's going on with our energy, right? So I've spoke about this in another video, you know, the whole like calling your energy back to you and really controlling your energy when it comes to the twin, really navigating your own energy when it comes to the twin, and all of those sort of things. So you guys can watch that other video about that if you'd like as well. But this game isn't about managing your energy or navigating your energy or trying to figure out your energy back or trying to call your energy back or trying to stamp your energy down or trying to, like, you know, suck all your energy in so that it's not bleeding and leaking out onto, you know, whoever and whatever in the twin and all of those sort of things, right? The energy that is you is you. That's your energy. The energy that is you, and just like this entire awakening path, just like the higher self awakened you, right, through the divine masculine, the higher self that is you awakened you through the divine masculine, through the twin flame vehicle, for you to come back into the awareness of this, for you to come back into the awareness that you are the I Am Presence experiencing itself in form, right? And so this path being deemed and led by the higher self, who is you, is largely energetic. It's one of the reasons I'm always hitting on that in my videos, and I'm always saying, if you are truly experiencing a twin flame dynamic, the energy that you will feel and experience will be off the chart. It will be something you will have never experienced before, and it will not be something that you can control. And you will know that the ego mind is not creating this intense energy that you are feeling. So, as the higher self is leading and orchestrating this path, the higher self, who is you, right? That is you, just at a higher vibratory state. The energy that is coming through you, that is pushing you around, whether it's Kundalini, whether you're feeling your twin's presence, whether you're feeling the third energy, whether you're feeling the soul merge, whether you're just feeling the intensity of the collective, whether you're just feeling energy in general and you have no damn idea what it is or where it's coming from, have the awareness that this is the higher self orchestrating you to feel the energy of what you are, to allow the energy of what you are to come back online, right? The energy that is you, you as an energetic being, all of us as energetic beings, has been basically laying dormant for quite some time in order for us to experience separation, right? The density of the third dimensional reality is just that, dense, right? It is a lower vibratory state. It is not the vibratory state that we as soul, as higher self, as the I Am Presence, as God, as source is. We are a higher state of vibration. We are a higher frequency, and we do not reside as our totality in the 3D. So in order to experience the 3D, an aspect of us has to descend into these lower vibratory states, which means an aspect of us energetically has to descend into these lower vibratory states in order to experience separation, because we are not separation. So in order to experience separation, our frequency, our vibration, our energetic field basically had to constrict, right? It constricts on itself for us to feel, the contrast, for us to feel the contraction, for us to feel what it feels like to feel lack, to feel scarcity, to feel small, to feel like we are not all that is, to feel like this is it and this is all I can do, and the whole thing that comes from the mind, right? The whole thing that is making us feel like, what's going on here, right? I can't really navigate this thing. Do I have free will? Do I not have free will? Why is all this stuff showing up? All the stuff that the human species experiences, right? So as you're going through an awakening process, there's a huge, huge and very important reason that the energetic system that is you starts to bust itself open, right? I did a video on this the other day, like I said. So as the energetic system that is you, right? Your energetic field, your Merkaba, your light body, whatever verbiage you are comfortable with, starts to expand. It starts to feel, you start to feel it, right? Within you, somatically, you start to feel it. Any trapped energies that we've been holding in, anything that is blocked somatically within our chakra system, right? This is the wounds, the woundings that we perceive, right? These are the things that we think that are holding us back. These are our programs, our blocks, right? Anything that we feel is an ancestral wound, anything that we feel is an ancestral karmic block, whatever these, beliefs that we have taken on during however many times that we have been experiencing this reality, these become energetic blocks within us. So we go through the awakening and we have the heart chakra activation. We have the Kundalini rising, right? And we're feeling all of this energy. We're around our twin. We're feeling all of this energy. We're feeling all of this all the time, to the point that it feels like, am I crazy? Am I just going insane? Why can't I make this stop? What's the deal with this? I'm really uncomfortable. Why do I wake up and always be feeling them? Why, the whole thing, right? So as frustrating and annoying as that can be for the mind, because the mind doesn't understand it, and so the mind starts trying to explain it, and since the mind doesn't understand it, we get frustrated, right? The mind gets frustrated with it. Have the awareness that the energy that is breaking you loose is doing exactly what I just said. It's breaking you loose. It's breaking you free from all the things that we had to experience in order to have this lower vibratory state of the third dimension reality experience, right? We had to descend to experience this. And so that means that the energetic field that you are also had to descend to be able to experience this. So as I said in that other video, you know, when you're trying to control the energy and all that sort of stuff, have the awareness that the energy and all the activations that are coming through you are being led and guided by the higher self, who is you, in order to break you back open. This is a very important part of the awakening, and it's not something that you should be trying to like nail down or call back in and suck back in and all of those sort of things, because you're afraid that your energy is leaking all over the place. As I said in that video, what's leaking all over the place potentially is the way that you are defining these things, right? The way that you are thinking about this stuff, the way that the energy is flooding up, and then you're having some sort of belief system around it, right? You're having some sort of thought around it. You're having some sort of panic around it. You don't like it. It's uncomfortable. What's the deal? Blah, 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 That is what you need to get a handle on, because ultimately that is what's going to be, right, keeping you out of alignment. It's that that is the mind mastery aspect of this path. It's coming into the awareness that your mind is always going to be leading you in a million different directions on this path, because it does not know what this path is, right? Said that like a lot of times. Your ego mind, your programming does not know what this path is. And so, since we have been experiencing the 3D for so long and the subconscious programs that we have been taking on, and that's all that we know, anything that is new that comes into the field, the mind is going to question and doubt and defend itself against, and all of those sort of things, right? So it's those aspects that we need to have a handle on. It's those aspects that we need to have an awareness on. It's having the awareness of what my thoughts are doing, what my mind is doing, what my inner dialogue is doing, where I'm running with these things, right? All of those sort of things. And then having the awareness of, am I still playing, as I said in that earlier video, the 3D game? Right? Am I still playing the 3D game? Am I playing a game with myself in regard to my old program, the old energy that keeps coming up, the old story that keeps coming up, and my awareness that I'm going through a spiritual awakening, and the energy influxes that are coming through me are part of that spiritual awakening? Am I still playing a game that's sort of continuing to still pull me into the mind beliefs of how things are supposed to look and things are supposed to show up as per the 3D reality that I have been experiencing? Or am I having the wherewithal that the thoughts that are coming up all the time, and that the inner dialogue and that the subconscious programmings are things that are actually keeping me in loops, in lack, in scarcity, and suffering? Because these are the aspects of me that don't understand that these were never any aspect of me, right? So, you know, we come into this incarnation and we have a name and we have all of our stuff and we have everything, right? And that's part of this reality. It's part of what we're experiencing. It's part of all of it. And so having all of this stuff sort of be busted open when we start going through the spiritual awakening, and all of the constructs start to, break down, and the ego death is very, very present, and the world around us stops making sense, and we start wondering who we are and what's going on and what this is and all of this sort of thing. I mean, this is the reason that we watch videos like this, right? Because we want to have an understanding. So I really just want to bring through in this video that it's more than having an understanding for the mind. It's having an inner standing. And I did another video on this that's talking about remembering who you are, right? It's having the allowance that you start to just fall into the remembrance that I am an energetic being. I am the light of being. I am the light of consciousness. I am all that is. And I was having an experience in separation. I was having an experience in duality. I was having an experience of the mind and of the ego, right? I was having an experience of the ego, and the ego thinking that it had all the answers and that it knew everything, and that the ego would never let me down because it was everything. It was me. I believed it was me fully. And now I'm having an experience that's telling me, oh shit, that's not it, right? And so me, as who I thought I've always been, we'll use Lalana for this example. Lalana, who she thought she had always been, starts to freak out, right? Who the hell am I now? What do you mean I'm not the ego? What do you mean I'm not all these things? What do you mean I'm not the definitions and the programs and the labels? What do you mean I have to get used to this energy that's flooding all the time? I don't like this. It's not comfortable. I don't know what this is. And you're telling me that I just need to like go with it and let go of all the things that I have believed that I have been all this time. Basically, you're telling me that I need to let go of my comfort zone, right? You're telling me that I need to let go of the only thing that I have been relying on this whole time that I've been navigating the 3D. And I will say, yes, that's correct. That is correct. Because everything that you have been using to navigate the 3D is exactly that. It's everything that you have been using to navigate separation consciousness. And now that you're going through a spiritual awakening, you're going to get new tools, right? You had a set of tools in order to navigate the 3D, right? As the higher self, as the I am presence, that was you. You had those tools. Now you're going to be learning. It's not learning, it's remembering the old tools that you had to lay down. You know, when you incarnated here, you're like, okay, we got to lay down the tools that we've been, using to navigate, higher consciousness all this time, to navigate the higher realms all of this time. We got to put our tool set down, our skill set down, in order to learn something different in this 3D separation consciousness of lack and scarcity and fear. And so now we've gotten so used to that we're awakening and we're like, what do you mean I have to lay those tools down? No differently than you did when you incarnated here and we're like, what do you mean I don't have any of the tools that I had that I knew how to live my higher consciousness and my higher realms existence? And now I have to lay those down. Same thing, right? So you're not relearning what you already are as you're going through the awakening. You're remembering what you already are as you're going through the awakening. That's why a lot of people on this path are just like, oh, it finally made sense why I was able to see through all the veils at a young age. Why I was just thinking oh, this reality didn't really feel right to me. Something always felt sort of off. Or the people that are like, I've always had psychic abilities. I just didn't know what they were. I thought that they were just deja vu, right? I've always had this. I've always had this feeling. I've always had clairvoyance. But I never knew what that was. And so I dismissed it. And then you go through the awakening and you're like, oh shit. That's what that was. That was me the whole time, bleeding through the 3D separation amnesic state, right? A lot of times this happens. It doesn't happen for everybody, but a lot of times that this does happen. And you come back into the remembrance of what you are. So my main purpose of this video is to really drive home that it's the mind and the belief systems and the subconscious programmings that are tripping you up on this path. And those are the very things that you have been counting on, that you have to lay down and go with the flow and surrender to the remembrance that the higher self that is you is here with you, right? Embodied, and is guiding you through this path that is bringing you back home, right? You're not leaving anything, even though sometimes it feels like that. I've done a few videos on, basically navigating the 3D and the 5D separation consciousness and unity consciousness, and how that feels just sort of disorienting and being all over the place. And we feel like we're leaving something that we've known, right? We're leaving this comfortability that we've had for however long in the 3D separation lens, right? But you're not doing that, right? And as much as the ego and the mind wants to convince you that that's what you're doing, what you're actually doing is coming back home, right? You are actually coming back home. You are actually remembering. And so even though it feels like a free fall state, even though the mind will convince you that this is a free fall state and what the hell are we doing and I don't understand this and this doesn't make any sense, and it will grip onto all the programs that it's always known in some sort of attempt to keep itself safe. The truth of the matter is that the higher self, who is you, will never let you fall. The higher self was guiding you through all that separation crap too, right? It's not like your higher self that is you just suddenly showed up when you went through the awakening. Your higher self that is you has been with you always. It is you. You can't separate you from you, right? And so just like you've been trusting this entire path up until the point of awakening, this is really no different than that. It's just that you have the conscious awareness of what's been going on because now you're awakening, right? And now you're coming back into the remembrance that you're not leaving anything behind. You're not leaving your old life or your old self or all of those things behind, even though that's what it feels like, and even though that's what the mind is going to try to convince you of. You go further and further along on this path, and it unlocks you, right? You get unlocked from all of these lower density frequencies and vibrations that we have been having to use to navigate this path for so long. Those become unlocked, and you come into a free flow state. You come into the remembrance, and it's not a mind game at that point, right? It's your embodiment. You feel it. This is experiential. You feel that you are back home, right? You feel it completely and utterly, that you are the I am presence, and that is not just words, that I am the light of being, that those are not just words, that I am the light of consciousness, and those are not just words or some understanding, right? This is the truth of what I am. And when you come back into that place, which is why I'm always talking about inner union on this path, then you will see that you've never left anything behind, that you never lost anything, that it's all oneness, that it's all interconnected, that it's all beauty, that it's all love, just experiencing itself in separation for a little while. And that all the while your mind has been, running the show and saying all the things that it said and all the things that you needed to hear in order to experience separation. But now you don't need to experience separation. And so now you need to be in that awareness of, I am the creator of my reality. And I'm remembering that I'm the creator of my reality. I didn't remember before, right? Now I'm remembering that I am the creator of my reality. So what do I want to create? And what is my mind telling me that I have to continue to relive and re-experience and repeat on rinse and repeat over and over again? Like, what is my subconscious programming telling me that I need to continue to do this and to this because that's all I've ever done and because that's all the subconscious programming is all ever known? Is that what I still want to do? Because now I'm in the conscious awareness that I can create things. And so now that I know that I can create things, do I really want to keep creating from the subconscious programming of separation? Is that the purpose of awakening? No. It's to remind you who you are. It's to come back into the remembrance of who you are. You come back into the remembrance of who you are, like I said before, the shackles drop off. The key unlocks the cage, and suddenly you're in freedom and you remember, and then boom, you're back into the truth of what you are and the remembrance that I am a creator being. And so now I can create by conscious creation, right? Not by default, not by ego and separation, but through conscious creation, because that's what I am. So just be aware of your mind, guys. Pay attention to what the mind is doing. Allow your energy to flow. Your energy needs to break itself free again. It needs to expand again, right? I said in that last video, you need to spread your wings. Allow your wings to shine. Allow your wings to spread so that you can fly back into the remembrance of what you are, and so that you can start creating through conscious awareness, right? Through conscious decision, through conscious choice, instead of creating by default on what you have been running up until this point. So that's what I have for you guys. I hope that you have an awesome day.